Welcome back. And as I touched on earlier, today we're talking about energy and sustainability. And as you know, when we talk about sustainability, we have to talk about subsidy. Subsidy is the forefront of the conversations that we keep having every single day and how it affects our daily lives. And on the program today, I have with me Mr. Adekunle Adeleke, and he is the Chief Executive Officer and founder of Dayspring Intelligence International. You're welcome to the program, sir. So, sir, let's start by touching on, in layman's terms, what exactly is fuel subsidy deficit?
When we say deficit, something is deficiency. It's not in great measure.
Yeah.
It's lacking.
Yeah.
So that is it. So we are in an era of a fresh subsidy deficit.
Yeah.
It's really lacking.
Okay.
Yes, that's it.
So today we're talking about sustainability, right?
Yes.
And when we're talking about sustainability, which is your area of profession, what do you mean by sustainable fuel subsidy deficit? First of all, let's touch on that.
We are talking about sustainability measures in this first subsidy deficit era.
Yes.
So it's about the measures that can be put in place by the government, yes, to enhance economic development, just as the same way first subsidy when it was active affected all economic activities in the land.
Yeah.
So there are some measures that government needs to consider in this era.
Okay, can you give us maybe one or two of these measures?
Okay, very good. Now, of course, that's why we are here. Yes, there are measures that can be put in place. But before I go into that now, the the government need to consider or redefine this era. Let's talk about that now. This is the era of fresh subsidy deficit. So, and to every era, there are policies, measures that must be put in place to commensurate such era.
Yeah.
For instance, now the previous administration, when President Buhari was the president, he came up with a measure of closing the border, but there was no other measure that would counter the effect of the closing of the border.
Yeah.
So now, if the president has considered to remove the fuel subsidy,
Yeah.
so we are in the era of fuel subsidy deficit. We need to understand it. What is the fuel subsidy deficit era all about? The characteristics of this era is increase in cost of living, increase in consumables. Even the NSC are asking for national increase in national minimum wage, increase in electricity tariffs. That's another characteristic. So what is this era all about? We have called it as an organization is oil hot era. Oil hot. The oil, which is the national the source of national revenue, has been hot. That's why we call oil hot. HURT. So the oil has been hot. It has been severely hot. So the fuel subsidy is no longer active. So the oil has been hot. So now I will use the analogy of a man, or let me say an accountant, who is earning 2.5 million in a month, and he suddenly lost his job. That's exactly what is happening now in Nigeria. So I'm using that analogy now in everything we are discussing now. So a man earning 2.5 million naira as a month with a large family, sustaining his large family. So his business, his occupation has been hot. When he lost his job, it has been hot. So no amount of palliative from friends and family can sustain him.
Yeah.
His financial responsibility has been hot. He is not able to sustain. So the only solution, the only measure for him is to come up with a new source of revenue, or to get a better job. So that's what's happening in Nigeria today. The oil has been severely hot. So we are in an era where the oil has been severely hot. So the government needs to put in place an economic development measures that will counter the negative effect of the hardship. Yes, the hardship effect on the land, on the entire masses and the economic activities.
Okay,
Yes.
so can you elaborate on
now-
that when you say that they need to put that in place? Like people watching want hope on how they think that during this fuel subsidy deficit, how they can have better lives, better, more money in their bank accounts, and how that will trickle down to the regular, average, everyday man.
Okay, thank you for that question. So you see, trickle down to what I'm saying, the measures, the sustainability measure that must be put in place. So now I will now go into the country called China.
Okay.
The idea we are talking about is the national wealth creation platform.
Okay.
Yes, this is the same thing that China implemented many years ago that is helping the economy to boom. Yes, it's helping the economy to boom. And that is the creation of what? In all the 23 provinces in China, they created vocational study centers.
Okay.
Yes, and skill acquisition center. So that is what is expected now. And how will it reflect like first subsidy? Yes, this idea will what is a revenue generation idea, and it's also coming with what job creation. So every year, China is training nothing less than 700,000 youths.
Wow.
In all their 23 provinces in vocational training. So what is needed at this point is the president or the governors of the 30 states in Nigeria, they need to create what I call a bilateral cooperation with a company called China.
Yeah.
That's the lasting measure, to facilitate trade and commerce, especially in the area of vocational studies. Yes, whereby there will be vocational study centers in all local governments, whereby people will be trained in areas like manufacturing, engineering, information technology, automotive, energy, healthcare, tourism, and services, and transportation. Yes. So once this is in place, I'm telling you, in the next 1 year, we will experience transformation. And Nigeria government or the governors, they don't need to spend much funds on this project. It's just engaging the Chinese government. Okay, send us your vocational studies program, specialists and entourage. Oh, we will take care of the accommodation. Okay, we have centers. Okay, in all our local governments. So help us in the next 6 months, trains some set of people that will be appointed, a committee. Okay, train them on this thing, on a vocational training program. By the time this thing is put in place, I'm telling you, in the next 1 year, it will enhance job creativity, job creation, then and productivity and innovation among the youths. People will no longer protest. Yes, people will have jobs. China now, they are producing. So when we are producing, also manufacturing like this now, we will be able to engage in commercial activities with all other African countries.
Yeah, export.
Yeah, you can see economy will bloom. So we don't need to be depending as a country on only fuel alone, the subsidy. So this is an era where we need to create a new national income. So that is what we're saying. So that's one of the measures.
Yeah, so do you want to touch on another measure? Because that's actually an excellent idea.
Yes. Okay, now I think we call this one episode 1. This is one thing I believe. I told you, as an organization, we study political trends, economic trends for the provision of innovations and initiatives in national development and growth. So this one is very deep, it's very powerful. I will still have about 5, that we have, but
so you're just going to give us
a
few.
This I can call this one an episode 1.
Okay.
Yes, let's be talking now. Yes. Okay. This is a very brilliant idea.
Yes.
So that is it.
Okay. Well, I actually think that's actually an excellent idea, like you said, because job creation for the youth and ways for them to involve themselves in learning, and the global world out there, things are changing. Yes. There's digitization, there's AI technology, and there's so much for us out there that we can actually latch onto. So, before we get to taking those measures and putting them in place, as you know, there's so much challenges for the average everyday Nigerian, and you study economies. How do you think the Nigerian person in these trying times, what advice do you have for the average Nigerian?
Okay. Okay, my advice for the average Nigerian in this era is just to be patriotic. Nigeria should not, because of the government have removed the first subsidy, not take a loss into their hand and say, okay, oh, I will go into kidnapping, I will start doing an internet fraud.
Yeah.
No, you have to take responsibility
Yeah.
on your own. Change begins with you.
Yeah.
Be patriotic.
Yeah.
People are complaining, they are protesting. Meanwhile, we have a team in this organization. We are busy on a daily basis on how we can, provide initiatives, innovations for governments, for corporate bodies.
Yeah.
So get yourself in something meaningful.
Mm.
Whatever comes your way in this period, manage it.
Yeah.
Yes. Be creative
Yeah, and build yourself.
and
while you
be
wait.
thank you while you wait.
Yeah.
It's very, very important. That is, be patriotic. Get involved in national discourse. Yes, that
Okay.
is it.
And if somebody wants to reach out to you, how else can they? Because you said you have ideas, you have different ways, and how do we reach out to you?
Okay, thank you. Our website is in place, www.nationbuilderdii.org.
Okay.
Yes, that's Dayspring Intelligence International.
Okay.
www.nationbuilderdii.org.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, do you want to say anything on a final note before we wrap up?
Okay. There are still solutions to every problem. There are
There's a
solutions.
solution.
So it's not enough for you as a Nigerian citizen to be complaining. You also come up with a solution, an idea, and provide it. I think that's the only way forward.
Okay.
Yes. I think another thing is that the creation of a center whereby the government will be looking for people, think tanks. Yes, people who have a innovation, something that is significant
Yeah.
to national growth and development. I think it's very, very important.
Okay.
Our leaders should not be focusing on politics or politicizing every aspect of the economy.
Yeah.
They should look down to the grassroots and say, okay, who are the people
How
who
can we help them?
they can be empowered,
Yeah.
whose idea can be meaningful,
Yeah.
can be useful
Yeah.
in national development. I think they will do well as politicians if
Yeah,
they
that's
do that.
fantastic. That's a wonderful note to end
Yeah.
on. Thank you so much, Mr. Adekunle Adeleke, for sharing your wisdom with us today. And you have infused my patriotism even more. So
Wow.
let's all come together and remember that we're all Nigerians and we want what is better for our country. Well, you have heard from our expert, and I hope that has urged you to be more patriotic. Let's remember that as Nigerians, we have to come together to build our nation. And as you know, with the fuel subsidy, that there are things that are put in place that will hopefully make our lives better and easier on a daily basis. The program continues after this.